Wolfie.
How are you guys?
You asking that question, knowing the answer.
The problem is, boys, I warned you. I warned you and you ignored my warnings. Don't take on Maranaka. And you tried. And you now have to suffer the consequences of it. It's that simple. I think Spurs fans have been a little bit giddy. Little bit giddy. You won a cup. You suddenly saw Kudos coming in. 2 days later, whatever it was, you trigger a release clause. And I think this needs to be a very heavy reminder to you about your owner. Well, not your owner, but Levy. Because Levy doesn't change. He doesn't change. You guys started to believe it. I was laughing the other day that Spurs fans were believing the Rodrigo links and things like that. I think it's time you realize that you ain't that club. You tried to pull my 5th best player out. You couldn't even take him. You couldn't even take him with the release clause. With the release clause.
Who cares anyway? Like he wouldn't have moved any goalposts for Spurs anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Well, no, my 5th best player would have ended up being your best player, boys. Let's be real here.
Is that right? Is that right?
I mean, you played
Is that
180 minutes yesterday and you couldn't win a game. You tried twice. You still couldn't win a game.
Have some respect, man. Have some respect for the team that won the Europa League last year. And how many times in the last 30 years have you finished above us?
What have you achieved in those 30 years?
To answer the question, how many times in the last 30 years have you finished above us?
So we're going to do the history thing. We're going to do the history thing.
Just answer the question.
Well, in the most recent history, we're 1-for-1 against you.
Answer the question. How many times in the last 30 years have you finished above us?
Twice.
Twice. Has it even been twice? I remember once, and that was it.
We finished 3rd, mid-90s. So unless you won the league that season, then I'll count that one as well. But
what year was that?
Doesn't matter, man. The Spurs from back then to the Spurs now. What's really changed? What's really changed? I think you guys need to use this as a good lesson and just start to have a deep look at Spurs and think, where do we go from here? Because this whole saga, joking aside, I think has pulled a handbrake up on your transfer window. I feel like Levy was sitting there waiting, hoping, praying. What shall I do with this Marinakis guy? He's got me covered. And nothing's happened for 2.5 weeks for you guys. You've wasted most of the transfer window.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But why do you even want Morgan Gibbs-White at your football club right now? This guy has been pushing...
He can leave, bro. I don't mind him going. Just not Spurs. Not Spurs.
Like, what is it such a big coup for Nottingham Forest to keep a player that just doesn't want to be there? Like, he's literally held hostage at your football club right now.
I mean, I could ask you guys that.
Your 5th best player don't want to be there.
Yeah, but I could come to you guys for advice on that, because didn't you do that with Kane?
We did do that with Kane, and now he's gone.
And when you kept him, how did he perform?
Kane's one of the best players in world football. Don't ever get Harry Kane's name and Morgan Gibbs-White's name in the same sentence.
I'm not comparing the two players. I'm comparing the situation, because you're saying
he did great because Harry Kane is one of the best players in world football.
And he came for our academy. He loves the club.
Isn't he an Arsenal fan?
One of our own. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. That's what he is.
It doesn't matter what he grew up. It's what he became.
Exactly.
Guys, I'm just sensing a bit of low morale from you boys. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I feel like reality hit, man.
Do you actually think Gibbs-White wants to be there, watching that interview with Marinakis? Did you get the sense that, okay, he's staying because he wants to stay?
I think he saw sense. I think you know what it is with footballers. Like they don't really watch football week in and week out like we do. I think he just thought Spurs were meant to be a Big Six team, and they were probably somewhere up there in the table. And finally, someone showed him the table from last season, and he was like, "Oh shit, 17th, man."
Did anyone show him the videos of the parade on the high road? Did anyone show him those videos?
Maybe they showed him the protest videos as well.
I don't know if he saw sense. I think he got a major threat. That's what I think. I think Marinakis threatened him in every which way he could. And I think
that is some pure copium, bro. That is like some next level copium. You think a grown man is going to be held at ransom to stay at a club that he doesn't want to stay at with a
Well,
60 million release clause.
I think in usual cases, I agree with you, but I think he read up on Marinakis, and I think he didn't like what he found out. And I think he thought, if I go against this guy, I think I actually might be in fear for my life.
I did warn you guys, don't mess with Marinakis.
If you
I think
read
what
it-
you just said there, change Gibbs White's name and put Levy in there, and I think that's closer to the truth.
I don't think so.
Do you think so? What do you boys actually think happened? I mean,
If
we've
I
got
genuinely,
to
if
see the
I'm being a bit
speculation.
100% serious, I think he did breach his contract with the confidentiality. That's why I reckon Marinakis is hammering him on. And I think Marinakis turned to him and said, look, if you make this move, either you've got two options. You either sign the contract or you go ahead with this move and I'm going to basically take you to court. I'm going to basically sue you into oblivion or whatever. Or big legal threats about the move, because I think he said, look, you've breached this confidentiality agreement. I think all these legal issues and complaints, which apparently never were ever formally filed, I reckon there were probably complaints against Gibbs White, not Tottenham. And I reckon he was threatening Gibbs White with legal action if he was to make the move and go through with it. And he said, either you make that move and I'm going to threaten you with this legal action, or you sign the contract and we move on from this situation. That's what I reckon happened. And he didn't look like he was happy to stay by that video. He did not look. And he signed a 1 year extension? 1 year extension he signed.
But he's already got another 2 on top of that, so it's a 3-year deal.
He's got 3 years, yeah.
The length of the contract doesn't matter. It's the clause. Like, the clause has either been removed or increased. That's all Forest
I'm sure it's been
about.
increased, hasn't it? It's probably like 85 to 90 million or something now.
Have you ever
I
seen
think it could go to 100. I think it's going to be one of those clauses where it's just there for the sake of being there. You know, like you see in the Spanish league where they're just silly numbers.
Yeah,
And what have you.
560 million or something.
Yeah. But just by what you just said there, on that logic, I would say, okay, if you're saying the leak came from Gibbs White or Gibbs White's camp, then if Spurs have done this legally, let's kind of go down that scenario. Why hasn't Levy challenged it? Because
he probably has. I think Gibbs White himself, I think he's threatening Gibbs White. I think that's probably been the hold up. He's telling you, Gibbs White, you can't make this move. If you do, I'm gonna sue you for breach of contract for the.
But that's still hearsay. That's still hearsay because it's his word against Gibbs White. Unless there's some smoking gun email to say, "Hi Levy, this is my release clause," then I still think that's hearsay. So I don't think it's gone down that route. The thing that I find more of a smoking gun is the fact that Levy has not reacted in the last 2 or so weeks to do anything. Because if he is so clean, then let's just say it played out that Levy guessed at the number. For example, he hit the release clause. Legally speaking, he would be in the right to say, doesn't matter if no one at Forest is answering our calls. We can call Gibbs White. He can come down to do a medical and we'll just send the check in the post. I know it's more complicated than that, but we're simplifying the scenario here. So if that hasn't happened, then surely you guys need to ask some questions about what Levy's done in all of this.
I don't know what he could have done that was so bad. What exactly are you saying what exactly could he have done apart from getting the figure from Gibbs White? What exactly?
No, I'm not saying he's
bad?
done anything bad. I'm saying if he hasn't done anything, why hasn't what I just said played out? Why hasn't this transfer gone through?
Because Gibbs White is being held by Marinakis.
That wouldn't matter. That wouldn't matter. Marinakis hasn't got him locked up in a room.
Agree to it at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
you
guys told me he agreed to terms that he wanted to go to Spurs.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he wanted to come, and then Marinakis said, if you agree to this, I'm suing you for breach of contract. That's what I think happened.
Boys, it sounds like copium.
I mean, the evidence by looking at that interview would suggest Marinakis standing right there, making sure Gibbs White says the words that he put in front of him. And said,
Mr. Marinakis, Mr. Marinakis.
Word for word. He didn't look happy there, Gibbs White. The body
that's
language
from your paradigm with your copium eyes.
Wait. You're telling me Gibbs White seemed excited about signing that deal by that video? Are you genuinely saying that? Is that what you got from the video?
Yeah, I just think Gibbs White is a little embarrassed at the way he's done this towards the Forest fans who we've shown him love and respect for the last 3 years, however long he's been there. And I think he's being a bit sheepish. I don't think he's under duress in that interview. I just think he feels, you know what was I thinking? Look how this club has treated me. They've given me the platform and everything else. And I just think kind of sense has prevailed.
That is like a hostage video. That is like a
From your
propaganda.
paradigm, bro.
A
Take your Spurs goggles off and watch it again.
No. I've seen fans from all over the Premier League and all over England talking about it in the same light. The only people that are thinking about it like you're thinking about it is your small sector of Nottingham Forest fans. That's it.
I think
everyone can see it's what it is.
I've just sent you a WhatsApp. So look at that image someone sent me. That's from a Leicester fan. But I think secretly every single one of you would take Marinakis as your owner. To have an owner that fights for players like that he believes are important to his team, to take on the Premier League, to take on VAR, to take on referees, take on everything else. You would love that kind of
Let's talk about your owner.
Please,
Let's
I can talk about him all day.
Because this guy has a very sketchy past. And I can understand Gibbs White taking Marinakis very seriously when you read into some of the allegations surrounding your owner. And this is the guy who owns your football club. I've just done, I've got a bit of research into him. Apparently, it says here, Marinakis, owner of Nottingham Forest and Olympiacos, faces long-standing allegations in Greece. The key points: accused of links to a heroin shipment, charged in 2018 with trafficking, but he was acquitted because a witness died suspiciously, per reports from The Guardian and the New Republic.
That is 2 1-ton heroin shipments.
He's got match-fixing allegations, implicated in 2015 scandal, acquitted, recent defamation suits over claims he rigged games and threatened referees, e.g. a referee bakery bombed in 2010. He was banned in 2021 for ref abuse tied to attacks on officials, including beatings. No convictions, but his influence in Greek football raises fears, potentially explaining the Gibbs White hesitations. That was
soon along those lists, 2025 is going to be holding a player hostage against his will at the club.
This is your owner. This is the things he's accused of.
This again is copium.
I don't want to be involved
This is copium, bro. What are you doing?
I don't want to be anywhere near that guy. I don't want to be anywhere near that guy.
All I heard from what you just said there were the words acquitted and allegations. Right? If I accused you of stealing my car, does that mean you've stolen my car? Of course not.
If I kill you, so you drop the charges, yeah, probably.
As Morgan Gibbs White dribbling that wedge so deep between us now, death threats and everything. I just look. I don't care what you say about Marinakis, right? He is the best owner in the Premier League, and if you are going to sit here and tell me
he's a mob boss. That's what he is.
And hence why I warned you guys. You didn't listen. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that any of the 20 owners in the Premier League have these clean slates that are whiter than white, that all their money has come from hard work, sweat, and dedication, cool, the copium's going too far. But everything you said there was allegations and acquittals. And if people died, rip to them. But these things happen. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like a Marinakis spokesperson, his personal lawyer.
Bro, I'm just a Marinakis admirer because what this guy has done.
Propagandist, that's what you are.
Sports washing, mob boss.
How is it propaganda, man? You guys have just chucked slander and allegations against him.
Slander?
Yeah.
This is...
You better hope he's not watching, boys. Because letters could go through that letterbox. Right? I'm just saying, this is copium from you guys. Marinakis has never been found guilty of any of this crap that you're slandering him with. And all I care about is what he's doing to my club. Taking us from the bottom of the championship to European football, to being a bigger and better club than Spurs, all in a short space of time. And the rise is upwards. And you guys shouldn't be focusing on Marinakis and Forest. You guys should be looking at the likes of Burnley, the likes of West Ham, Brentford, Leeds, those teams, man, who are probably going to finish in and around you next season. Don't worry about us European kind of teams up there. You'll get a few games in the Champions League, I hear it. But
I guarantee you now, Wolfie, we're going to finish above you next season. I guarantee you now.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that.
Again.
You're saying don't talk to a team in Europe and we're in a better European competition than you are.
Yeah, but you're there as participants. You're going to win it.
Because you complained about Palace. That's why you're there.
Well, you never complained about Palace.
Yes, you did. That's what Paris says.
No, we didn't. If anything, Palace are now doing the complaining about Forest and Leon.
You complained
We're
to them,
innocent
and they
parties
said if you
in this.
didn't complain, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh, so you think you're naive to think that if Forest hadn't sent a letter, which by the way, you won't be able to tell me what it said in that letter, that Palace right now would be in the Europa League?
That's what Parish thinks. That's not my opinion.
So now you're siding with Parish. Yeah, Parish.
Over a mob boss, yeah.
The guy
probably.
who doesn't read his emails. At least Marinakis reads emails.
But you're in a tournament that you don't even deserve to be in.
You didn't get there by right.
And?
What do you mean, and?
So you're complaining about us being in a tournament that we earned the right to be in through winning a competition, and yet you're completely overlooking the fact that you didn't earn your spot in your European competition that you're in.
Let me ask you boys this. Let's say you lost to Man U in the Europa League final. I know it's hard to think because of how bad they are, right? But let's play this scenario out. And then Manchester United are found to be in breach of multi-club ownership rules because of their links with Nice. Okay? If they get kicked out, Spurs can go into the Champions League. Would you guys care?
It's irrelevant of caring. That's not the role that we're living in. We're living in a world that we won the Europa League, so we deserve to be in the Champions League.
Yeah, but right now you're living in Marinakis' world, so you got to go with my hypothetical.
I will never be living in Marinakis' world. I ain't going to be bombing no bakeries.
But the fact that neither of you sat there and said absolutely not, we wouldn't want that is kind of the answer.
You're the one saying to us, "Oh, don't chat to us, chat to Burnley and Leeds." When we're in a higher competition than you, I wouldn't be saying that if I was you.
You can't play that card. You can't play that card.
You're the one who played the card.
Because you lot sacked the man who won you that trophy based on what he did in the league. So that makes that trophy conversation irrelevant because clearly your focus is more on what happened in the league position. Otherwise, Andrew would still be here. So I can talk to you about the league. 10 position gap. That's the difference there.
In a complete one-off season.
In a complete one-off. We'll see, bro. Because right now I'm looking at Spurs thinking, you've made one new signing in Kudos. Okay, you've signed a couple of your loan players. You got that young defender. But have you moved the needle? Because you need to catch me up first. That's 10 places.
We don't need to catch you up in terms of personnel. We've already got a better squad than you. We had a one-off season with unprecedented injuries where we finished 17th last season. We've already got a better squad than you without any signings.
You've lost to Langer.
So why did you finish 17th?
I just told you it was an unprecedented season with unprecedented injuries.
I get that you're saying it's a one-off season, but I think you're kind of spinning the narrative the wrong way. It's a one-off season that you won something. If we look at recent history.
I thought we're talking about the league.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You got your narrative wrong here. In the league, you finished 17th. The table doesn't lie.
If it's not a one-off season, tell me the last time we finished in this point of the league. Near 17th.
I don't know. I remember you nearly getting relegated. You finished 4 points clear in the mid-90s.
And what year was exactly? You need to go all the way back to the mid-90s.
Okay, but then tell me, what have you actually done? In the last 30 years.
That's not the point. What we have done since then, what we have done since then has been consistently better than Nottingham Forest by a long, long way. That's what we've done.
In my absence of the Premier League for 23 years, you won one Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
What did we do last year?
And you're claiming Big Six status.
What did we do last year?
Finished 17th.
And what did we win? We're here for trophies, right? What did we do last year?
Yeah, so why'd you sack your manager?
That's not my decision. I disagree with it. That's irrelevant. I'm talking about, you would say we're here for trophies. All of a sudden you're changing the narrative. Now we're not here for trophies.
I'm not changing the narrative because the sense of it is you win something first one since what, 08? Let's sack the manager who did that. First trophy in over 40 years in Europe. Let's sack the manager that did that. The actual psyche in Spurs is weird. It's weird. I actually think Spurs fans think they're a bigger club than they realistically are. You're not a Big Six club. I only actually think there's a Big Four club these days, if we're being realistic. If you look at the transfer window, those 4 teams are moving like crazy, bringing in the players, and the rest of us are sitting there waiting to get the scraps. If we're being real, that's including you and Manchester United. So I think there's going to be a change. I don't think it's a Big Six anymore. I think it's a Big Four.
Well, if you want to know, if you ask your average football fan who the classic Big Six are, Tottenham will be in there.
And if you ask them why, they'll probably tell you because Beyonce turns.
It doesn't matter about why, but they'll say Spurs will be in there. Spurs are a Big Six club. It's just facts.
since 2005, we've been in the top 6, like more than we haven't.
Okay, and what has that won you?
Well, Europa League.
Okay, so you had to fall out of the top 6 positions to win a trophy. That's so Spursy. That is
Yeah.
so Spursy, man.
Unfortunately, that is what had to happen. So what? How many trophies have you won?
I mean, should I do the classic point at my 2 stars? You got any of those?
I'm talking about the last. You're talking about in the. Okay, we've won.
Well, you're the one talking
Premier Leagues as
historically,
well.
so I can do history.
You're
if
the
you
one
want.
who's saying why we're in the top 6. I'm saying because we've been in the top 6 for the last 20 years, apart from maybe 3 or 4 years.
All right, let me ask you boys this, right? Because you've got Thomas Frank in now. Yeah, there's a bit of, good feeling in the Spurs fan base and what have you. Would you take finishing 6th this season and winning the Carabao Cup? Would you say that would be a successful season?
6th in Carabao Cup, yeah, I'll probably take
Yeah,
that.
probably.
Would you want Thomas Frank out?
No.
No.
So he would have performed technically worse than Ange did when you look at kind of add up the tally at the end of the season.
In his first season, I mean, I'll take 6th in a Carabao Cup than 5th and nothing.
Okay. I just think it's weird.
That's
Like,
weird.
Yeah, I just think like you would have technically had a worse season because you won the Europa League, you got into the Champions League.
Sorry, I can't
You
hear.
sack your manager, but you would happy to finish 6th with a Carabao Cup. All right, what about no Carabao Cup? Would you take 6th this season as a position finish? No trophies.
For Frank's first season, yeah, I think 5th or 6th is where we should be finishing this season, yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Why does that not make sense?
Because you're telling me it was all Ange's fault, or not you specifically, I'm talking the Spurs fans. It's all Ange's fault. The squad is there, good players. You still got the pull, you got Kudos in, etc. And you'd settle for 6th with no trophy. That would be what, a Europa League spot?
Look, I'll settle for it. It's not that that's what I'm dying for this season. Obviously, I'd want another trophy and I want to finish in the top 4. But I'm realistic to know where we're at this moment in time. And I think the top 4 are pushing away from everyone. And I think 5th or 6th will be a very good season.
If you finish 6th this season with no trophy, is that
Yeah.
a better or a worse season than
The last season,
Yeah.
it depends, man. I think you got to take into account everything that goes on in the course of a season. Like, it's not just about what if we get to the semi-finals of the Champions League or something like that. Or you know what I mean? We have a deep run into the Champions League. If we don't have all those injuries, we would never have finished 17th last year. We would have finished around 5th or 6th last season. 7th, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, we probably would not. Maybe not 5th or 6th, maybe 7th, I reckon. 7th or 8th last season.
Yeah, but okay, so which is it?
Which is what? What do I
6th,
think?
no trophy, or what you did last season?
What would I prefer as a fan, or what's objectively a better season?
I guess both. I'm not even trolling you guys here. I think this is an interesting question. Because some Forest fans are saying, would you take finishing 17th and win the Europa and do a Spurs next season?
I
Do you know
don't
what
think
I
I
mean?
would
It's an
take. I
interesting
don't think.
question.
Well, obviously we're not in the Europa next season, so
No, I'm saying from my paradigm, Forest fans are
I'm
saying
just saying
that.
I wouldn't swap that night in Bilbao in the parade for a 5th.
yeah.
for
But
a
would you
5th
do it
place
again?
finish.
Would you do it again next season? He's asking.
If it was the Champions League,
No, for Europa League.
would I do it again for next season, the Europa League? Maybe not.
I don't think I would. I wouldn't go for 2 back-to-back 17th place finishes for 2 trophies. No.
Would you do it for the Champions? Surely you'd do it for
Yeah,
the
I'll
Champions.
do it for the Champions League.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
definitely do it for
Yeah.
the Champions League, yeah.
Yeah. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's like, does the
Would
trophy
you take
hold weight?
finishing 17th to win the FA Cup?
Nah, not the FA Cup. I've already got 2 of those.
How old were you when you got 2 of those FA Cups?
I wasn't born, bro.
Oh, you weren't even born. Okay.
Yeah. How old were you when you won the league?
You haven't seen any FA Cups.
How old were you when you won the league?
I'm not sitting here flexing it.
What then? What, did it not happen? Did Forest not have 2 FA Cups? That's like it
They
still
do have
happened.
2 FA Cups, but
Yeah.
it's nothing that you can remember. You weren't up and down the Nottingham High Street celebrating it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I was alive or not. It still happened. But would I take that scenario? I would, you know. I would. Give me 17th, win the Europa League. I can then go the next year, get my 3rd star.
So you would take Spurs' season last season.
Yeah.
All right, that's it then. There you go.
Why is that shocking? Surely there are
It's
Spurs
not
fans
shocking.
that
It's just very revealing.
trophies, bro. Like,
Exactly.
trophies, isn't it?
Mhm.
You gotta
Agreed.
take it. Finishing second, third, fourth, or fifth last season was the exact same thing technically you did in terms of what you get, but you got a trophy with it.
Agreed.
So you're jealous of our season last year, basically. This is what you want.
I wouldn't say jealous. I said I'd take it.
Sounds pretty jealous. I want
Ah.
Spurs' season this season. That's what you said.
No, I said I would
I
take
want
Spurs
it.
this season. I didn't say I want it. I said I'd take it. Yeah. The reality is, I think we can do it, the normal way. So we might do that. But yeah, I'm trying to cheer you boys up. I'm feeling bad. You both look dejected.
Where do you think Forest are finishing this season?
Head of Spurs?
You want to bet on that?
I'm Muslim, bro. I don't bet.
Oh, yeah, we've already been through this.
No, realistically, I think Forest finish probably the same position, about 7th.
I think
Because
we'll finish above you for sure.
I'll tell you why.
I don't think you finished 7th.
Guaranteed we
higher?
finish above you.
No, lower.
100%.
I don't get where that hopium's coming from.
It's coming from because it's just what always happens apart from one season, one off season.
Yeah, but you got to look at it objectively.
I don't even
That's
think
the
you
key
finish
thing.
in the top half.
Why? Who's finishing in the bottom half ahead of us?
In the top half ahead of you. So I think the top four.
Yeah.
Then I think Spurs, Newcastle, Villa are fighting out for that 5th spot. So I think those 3 will be in a row. So that's
Yeah,
already,
7.
what is that, 7?
And then Brentford, Brighton, no, also Bournemouth.
Nah, I think Brentford are going to be in a relegation
Not
scrap
Brentford.
this
Agreed.
year.
I mean,
They got no
Bournemouth,
players left.
Brighton,
Huh? Bournemouth, Brighton will be ahead of
probably
you.
Fulham, maybe.
Bournemouth and Brighton. Bournemouth had their defence ripped out.
Yeah, I still think they're going to finish ahead of you.
Okay.
Brighton, they'll finish above Bournemouth. They'll finish above you. And who else is there? I don't know. Maybe you'll be there around 9th, 10th.
So that would be top half then.
Yeah, maybe another team will sneak in there, but you'll be around mid-table, bottom half of top.
I'm
half
just
of bottom.
look, boys. I'm just trying to be objective about your situation here, right? You've got a new manager.
Palace will be above you.
Man
Man United will be above you.
Palace
Yeah.
will miss fixtures, man. They'll don't check their emails. They'll think, oh crap, we were meant to play there. And
And
what
they'll
have you.
still finish above you.
Nah, they won't. Palace always finish 12th anyway, man. Look, if you look at your current situation, let's be real here, right? You got Thomas Franken with his
Yeah.
backroom staff,
Yeah.
who has never really been in a European battle in the Premier League. So it's unknown to him. He's never played in the Champions League and he's never won a trophy. So there's a lot of unknowns there. When you look at your squad, you've only added Kudos, who is a quality player. Yes,
Yeah.
but he had a bad season last season. Is that continuing, or will you see the Kudos from 2 seasons ago? So outside of that, those are the only elements that have really changed. The rest of the squad is still the same.
That's
the rest
quite
of the
big.
squad
That's quite big change, though. That's quite big change. It's a complete change in the way that we play. A lot of
But
the
change
players, I
isn't
think,
always
will-
good.
But I think that the changes will impact positively to Thomas Frank. It's the best kind of caliber of player that he's ever worked with. You look at our players compared to your players. I think man for man in every position, or in definitely most positions, we're better than you in.
No, you're not.
On the bench and on the pitch.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
How are we not?
Okay, my keeper's better than your keeper.
Sells is better. I mean, our sub keeper's probably better than Sells.
Really? Did your sub keeper get Golden Glove last
Nah,
year?
to be fair, Sells is a very good keeper, but I mean that one's kind of hit or miss. But you look at everywhere else. My right back's better than your right back by
Is
far.
he? Einar is better than Einar, is he?
By far,
No chance.
there is no chance anyone is swapping Ola Aina for Pedro Porro.
Really?
No chance in the world.
Really? Man City tried to get him in the summer.
There is no chance.
No, he didn't.
Okay. Is your striker better than mine? How did Solanke do last season?
I'm telling you, if you could swap Solanke for Chris Wood right now, you would do it.
I would not swap. I hate
Yes,
Solanke.
you would.
Nuno would.
Chris Wood had a one-off season. Both my centre-backs are better than both your centre-backs.
Really? Better than
Romero,
Milenkovic?
World Cup winner, is better. Mickey van der Ven is better. And I know
than
your two
Murillo?
centre-backs are probably the best two players in your team. But our
Your-
centre-backs are much
One of your
better.
left backs is one of my rejects, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Spence.
Spence, he's our
Yeah.
backup right back.
Is Johnson better than Alanga? I know he's not there, but we're
Alanga's
comparing
not there,
what we
so
have.
Alanga's not there anymore. So.
You're trying
I
to put
know.
in someone that you sold already.
I'm just saying, like, we can do that.
Why would Alanga help you?
Is Gibbs White better than Madison?
You said he wasn't, so I'm going to go by your logic.
Well, what do you say though? What do you say though?
I'm going by your logic. You said he wasn't, so we're going to go.
Yeah,
with
I don't
Madison.
think he is, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Okay, we can agree on that one then.
My left back is better than your left back.
Who's your left back? Doggy.
Doggy.
Yeah,
Who's your
okay, I'll
left-
give
who's
you a
your left
doggy.
back? I didn't
My
remember
left
that.
wing is better than yours.
Who Hudson-Odoi?
Hudson-Odoi. I mean, can Son still run?
Or
Or are
Son
you
probably
putting
still-
Towel there?
Son probably still got more goal contributions in his worst season than Hudson-Odoi.
But would you take Son off?
A washed Sonny is better than Hudson-Odoi, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not. It's
And
not.
Son ain't even washed.
One player who might get in, I would say, is Elliot Anderson. I think he'd be the only
Elliot
one.
Anderson gets in
I'd
definitely.
say he might be the only one.
I can't believe you would take one player. So you're saying you take one player, gets in your starting 11?
I think so, yeah.
That is so disingenuous, boys.
No, it's not.
It is based on what you saw last season of your players.
I'm just saying
you would
based on
take one.
quality of player. It's not a player's career, and you can't define a player on just one season.
Agreed.
And Wolfie, you know, you didn't have Europe, right? When we didn't have Europe, we finished 5th. You know that. So we finished higher than you did.
Bro, if you didn't have Europe, you'd have had a disaster of a season last year.
No, we wouldn't. We would have been much higher in the league.
Just all hypotheticals, boys. All
What are you talking
hypotheticals.
about? You didn't have Europe last year. You finished 7th. The year before we didn't. We finished 5th.
Okay, but we're talking about last year. You
Yeah,
finished
I know.
17th. You finished
I'm
17th.
aware of that. I'm aware
So
of that.
do you think then, because are you doing the whole Ange said I'm only focusing on Europe thing?
Sorry, you're broken up again to Wolfie.
Oh, hello?
Here, gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're doing the whole Ange focused on Europe thing, but you guys
We
just
did.
told me you had injuries. So would those
Both-
players have
both
not
are
been
true.
injured?
Both are true.
That's why he had to focus on Europe because of
Yeah,
the
but surely
injuries.
if they were injured, they'd be out for Europe.
Well, they
and for
came
the-
back. They came back just before the quarterfinals. That's when
Yeah.
our players started coming back.
And he
Okay,
put the-
so when
he
they were
played them all in
injured in the
Europe.
first half of the season,
Mhm.
so you can't use that injury excuse is what I'm saying. Either they're
not?
injured and that is an excuse, or you would have finished higher up the table irrespective.
Our
of the-
injuries started in around what, November time? Around November. Out all for the busy part of the season, December, where we had games every 2 games a week. And
Where were
everything
you in
going into
November?
January.
Where were you in November in the
We
league?
were not far off the top 5,
We
I
were
think.
6th. We were 6th in November. Well,
Were you?
we beat Man City 4-0, and we were 6th.
Okay. I can't remember, so I'll take your word for it.
Hmm.
Yeah. But the bottom line is Gibbs White stays.
Yeah, Gibbs
Were you-
White is
were you
staying.
guys-
Enjoy
Joking
your
aside-
1 year. Enjoy your 1 year with Gibbs White.
Yeah, no,
Wolfie.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he still goes this summer.
And he's
'Cause
gonna
we've seen
he's
that
gonna be
happen before, haven't we?
disillusioned. He's going to be
Elise left.
disillusioned. Yeah, true. No, he did. He waited. I think they had to wait. a year.
One more year, didn't he, Elise?
Did he wait? I can't remember. Was it one more
He's
year?
going to be disillusioned. His head's not going to be right. You're going to be like, why is Gibbs White not playing as good as he was last season? And it's going to be because he's downing tools. He wants to leave. He doesn't want to be there. And his price is going to plummet. You're going to have to take less than 60 million next summer.
Okay, boys. I'll let you have that copium.
That's how I see things. That's how I see it.
Look. Very good.
Wolf. No, I was just about to say, always a pleasure, my friend, to have you on.
Anytime, boys.
Next
It's always
time,
good to banter.
next time will be when we take your next best player in a couple of years' time. Brennan Johnson was a few years ago. It was nearly Gibbs White this summer, but Marinakis has got something over him. And in a couple of years, we'll see who the next one is that we're going to take.
Boys, as long as you come and legally approach them, come and have that conversation.
All right, mate.
Nice one,
We'll
Wolfie.
speak to you soon, Wolfie.
Pleasure as always, boys. All the best.
See you later, mate.